everybody. Welcome to a Tatter-a-fact here at the Girlz Inc. studio in Las Vegas. And today I have got someone pretty amazing, someone I admire, someone everybody's going to be really super excited to listen to. We got Monica Ivani, yes, on the computer screen. Yeah, welcome, Monica.
Thank you so much for having me, Terry.
Yeah.
I absolutely adore you. I love you. I admire you even more. You know, you're just the god.
The god? I don't know about that. But, you know, this is my first, I've been doing Tatter-a-fact podcasts for the last year, and I've had lots of great guests, but they've all been live in person. And doing them live and in person is fantastic, but it restricts you, right? There are so many more people that I want to have conversation with that I find fascinating that I wanted to have on the show, and the only way to do that was remote, like Zoom. So it was so you're my very first remote Zoom podcast guest. So what a way to roll out.
Trial.
Yeah, a trial, right? And you know me, I've been testing all week, and we've been like getting everything, and I've got Olivia and Willow with me to make sure everything like runs right. So
this is amazing. I can't imagine how you have the time to do procedures, to do training, to do your products, to do podcasts, to do, you just do so much there, and you're just incredible, and you do everything 1,000,000%. So not like just, you not just do it 100%. You put everything in it. I don't know how you do it, but you're just amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, that's the reason for all my mental health issues. Which I readily admit on my podcast. Yeah, I got anxiety, I get depressed, I get overwhelmed, I get sometimes you feel heavily burdened and you just need to take a day, and you know that saying have a drink, I'm not a big drinker though, it gives me headaches, or I would probably be a big drinker, but you know how they say, so when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, let's rearrange that saying a little bit. When the tough gets going, the tough walks over to the couch, curls up, and puts on Netflix for a whole day.
Yeah. I know,
Right?
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, I know. I do work a lot. I do a lot of different things, and I love it. But I'm human, and sometimes, you do get tired, and you start to feel a little overwhelmed, and you got to manage your schedule better. But it's fun for me, Monica, and, I'm getting older, and I don't know when my time is going to be up in the industry. We're not gifted tomorrow, right? We're gifted today, so I don't like to waste opportunity.
Yes.
That's my big thing.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%. But you're super busy. I mean, you do a lot. So before we get on all to that, I just wanted to, I think everybody in the industry knows Monica Ivani, right? Everybody knows Monica Ivani. And if they didn't before your pigment line came out, they do now, right? Because your pigments are killing it. They are huge sellers. Can't keep them in stock. Everybody loves them. I don't think I've seen one negative comment about your pigments on social media.
Yes, but that's thanks to you, Taryn. You started the whole thing. You were the one who asked me to do this series, so that is all thanks to you. Obviously, I'm very thankful to you. You know this. We have talked about this many times. Very, very grateful forever. But yeah, the pigments are doing amazing. I'm just so thankful and grateful for everybody as well that uses and loves it. But yeah, it's just really popular, and it's not just popular in Europe and not just popular in America, but popular all around. Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, Asia. Remote parts of the world as well. So it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I think the reason why they gotten so popular is because the market that obviously there's lots of organic pigments out there, lots of popular other pigments out there, but they're the fact that they are just 4 little colors, and that they are obviously inorganic, and that they are perfect for beginners and so easy to use, and
yeah Yeah, they're perfect for beginners. There's forgiveness to them because, like you said, they're not organic, but they're also perfect for really advanced, skilled artists. Just because we use them here in the studio, and just because you move out of the beginning stages and you become a skilled, really badass artist, your pigments are still performing and still really
Absolutely.
good. So, I would hate to see your pigments be categorized only for beginners. They are amazing for beginners, but also your pigments are great, even into, really advanced work, for artists that are super skilled. And of course, we have lots of really skilled, seasoned artists using your pigments. I swear by them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Obviously, I consider myself seasoned, and I still prefer them. I do use organic pigments sometimes, but not a lot of the. So I always go back to my pigments. I just prefer it. They look great right after procedure. They heal great, and then obviously, the main thing is for hair strokes, you cannot use an organic pigment, or
Right.
not supposed to be using an organic pigment, because they will end up a blocky brow. So you have to use an inorganic. So again, it just goes back to that. So obviously all the best hair stroke artists in the world, a lot of the best hair stroke artists in the world use my pigments as well because of that as well. But obviously for powder as well, it's brilliant. It is great for everything. But what I meant is that there wasn't, when the pigments came out 3 years ago, there wasn't a set, like a small little set for beginners.
Right.
And I think that's how it gotten so big, and that's how it gotten so popular. And then obviously not just a seasoned artist use it, but beginners as well, which is just perfect as well. So
Yeah. They're simplistic and they're easy to learn, and you can mix them and get custom colors out of the four. So you mentioned something that I want to kind of go back and touch on is, hair stroke artists. Some of the best hair stroke artists, they do choose iron oxides. I think the misconception, Monica, and I'm wondering if you agree, that there is a lot of artists in the industry that want their pigments, they want them so damn strong, and they want them to last forever. And I think that's a huge mistake. I think LI Pigments does recognize this. If anything, any pigment, no matter how good it is, how stable it is, sits in facial skin long enough, there is that potential of it shifting color.
100%.
100%. So we want our pigments to last a reasonable amount of time, because we don't want to have to keep re-tattooing the same area over and over and over, because that can cause scar tissue. But we don't want them to last too long, to the point where it's just sitting in facial skin way too long, and now that color can start to degrade or turn into a fugitive color. We want them to slowly fade out. I think, brow pigments lasting 1.5 to 2.5 years is an appropriate time.
Yes, 100%, or even less, now. So I know that, your technique is very different to mine. My technique is very, obviously it's a very light. I'm very light-handed with all my techniques, with hair strokes as well as powder. And, my clients, and not just my clients, but mainly me, and because of that, obviously my clients as well, I don't want my brows to last a long time. I don't want them lasting beyond 1.5 years.
Right.
I want them to fade away after a year, 1.5 years, and my clients can come back and they have options. It's almost then faded down to 20%. There's barely any pigment by that stage.
Right.
After most of my clients come back after about 12 months to 18 months. And there's about 20-30% of pigment. Sometimes there's no pigment there at all. So it's like a brand new canvas. And because my hand is such a light hand, when I tattoo, you see, I don't mush up the skin. I don't think I cause, obviously every time you tattoo, you cause trauma. Of course, we know that. But because I'm super light-handed, I don't think I cause too much trauma. So I just prefer that, because my clients then have options. So when they come back to me after 12 months, 18 months, they can choose a different technique. They can choose a different shape. They can choose a different color. They can choose everything else. And, I'm not sure about a America, but in Ireland, the clients definitely prefer that way. You know, they
Yeah.
want to have that open option for later on, so that they can change technique, they can change everything. Trend changes, you know, all the time.
Yeah.
So I just prefer, and I think Europe, compared to say America, I think Europeans want them so much lighter and so much softer, and they don't mind coming back after 18 months.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. I think we're a little bolder here in America. I think, you know, especially here in Vegas. I'm in Las Vegas. So my clientele, they want things, you know, bolder, a little more striking, and they do want things to last, you know?
Yeah.
And so we are a little bit different in our techniques and our philosophies. I'm not light-handed, but I'm not heavy-handed. You know, I implant pigment right up to that upper dermal layer. And, you know, of course, I'm not turning skin to mush or anything like that by implanting into the upper dermal layer, but that will cause our procedures to last a little bit longer. But even with, you know, iron oxides like aqua, if you're implanting in the upper dermal layer, I mean, you can get, I would say, 2 to 4 years out of a procedure, and before, you know, it starts to fade down to, like, you know, to the 20 or 30% level. And that seems to make our clients here in Vegas really, really happy. And so, if, you know, if our clients are happy, then we're happy. And there are different standards all over, you know, the world. And I like that you and I can sit here and talk about, we do have a different philosophy, we do implant different, and yet we're not disregarding each other's philosophies and techniques, right? There's this thing right now, it's like if you disagree, then you must hate each other, or if I don't agree with you, then I must not like you, or I must not respect you. And that's harmful. I like that two different artists that, you know, come from a different perspective, use different needles, different techniques, both are getting beautiful results. You know, they can sit down and they can talk. And
oh, absolutely, absolutely. I believe, Terry, and I always say this to my students and to my friends and everything, that, you know, although, yes, we may be so different, as you said, or, you know, my technique or the way I do something, it's not the best way. And there's so many trainers out there that teach in a way that this is the best way because this is how I do it and this is the best way.
Yeah.
And I don't agree with that because I don't think there's a best way. I think there's lots and lots of different ways. And one technique may suit me, but it may not suit you, or it may not suit your clients, or it may not suit your body or your hand positioning and all of that. So there's so many different ways of doing tattooing and permanent makeup and everything else. And there is just no best way and there's no one way. So even though, yes, we may be totally different, I think that is brilliant because, and this is, you know, I admire you. And, you know, in all of my classes, your name always comes up because I highly recommend your color classes, your lift classes, you know, and just everything else because and we are very different. We are different, but it's, you know, I always recommend, not just you, but obviously other artists as well, because I think it's very important like that to keep a very open mind and to try out different techniques, different, you know, do trainings with different people and meet other people and hear their technique or philosophies and see, you know, that might suit them better.
Yeah,
you know?
No, I agree, and I'm the same way. Yeah, I've always said there's so many different ways to a beautiful result, right? And this is my way, but it's not the only way. And yeah, and I think that's what I find so fascinating about our industry is how versatile it is and how different so many artists can be with their techniques, yet we're all getting beautiful results. And it doesn't matter how you get to a beautiful result, as long as you're not damaging skin, causing harm, and you are getting to a beautiful result. Doesn't matter the needle, the technique, or the other. So I love the diversity. I love the versatility in our industry. I think it's fascinating watching other artists work that work very differently than me. If all I had to sit back and watch artists that work just like me, I'd probably be fucking bored. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like, you'd be bored. I mean, I love
100%.
watching artists that are so different. And then I love hearing their explanations on why. Like why they do it this way, why this works for them. You know, you always learn, you always pick up a little nugget of info. And sometimes it inspires me to go back to my studio and maybe try something new. you know,
Yes.
that I wouldn't have thought of trying because, you know, I'm still that. I'm still a curious artist, you know, so.